Hello everyone, it's Kayla at the Celebration Company. Y'all, we're gonna do something fun today. So we are going to make some giant poinsettias that you can use in your Christmas decor. Something like this would be really fun if you have a big house, especially if you have like tall ceilings. You could do something like this, put a few of them on a staircase or a banister, maybe a few on your fireplace. Y'all, they're inexpensive and they're gonna really pack a statement, okay? So you want some cardstock paper. I am using all red, and then I have some green for some leaves. So I went to Joann's and I just picked up some red cardstock, okay? They're all the same. You're gonna need quite a bit of it, all right? And this is just, it's just the smooth red cardstock. You could even buy a whole pack of it if you wanted to, okay? I happened to get this when it was on sale, so it didn't cost me very much. So definitely pay attention to that. Possibly get a pack when it's on sale, maybe 50% off at Hobby Lobby. This happened to be 70% off though. So I got a really good deal on it. So what we're gonna do though, is we are going to start by making some petals. So I just freehanded. This petal is not complicated. I know that if you're like me, you've been drawing flowers since you were old enough to draw. And so drawing a petal shape shouldn't be too hard. So all I did for me is I just started with my first one, and I just did one side of my petal. Then I folded it in half and then cut it out that way, okay? So that way it was equal on both sides. For our bottom petals, they are going to be folded in half like this, okay? So it makes total sense to do that. After it's folded in half, after you get one of them, then you can just go in and just trace it out and cut out the rest. So for each layer, we're gonna need 5 petals. So I'm just gonna start with this first one. I'm gonna trace it and I'm gonna cut it out. And we're gonna go ahead and do 4 more of them, okay? So I'll see you back here in a minute after I got them all cut. Okay, y'all, so here we go. Starting again, we went ahead and cut out our petals, okay? I have 5 petals cut out. And I wanted to mention, because I don't think I did a minute ago, you want to make your petals about as big as this sheet of paper. So my petals are 12 inches tall, okay? So want to make them a really good size. The smaller you make the petals, the smaller the flower is going to be, okay? I wanted this to be a really good sized flower. And because my petals are about 12 inches, this is going to be a flower that's about 24 inches, okay? So after I have them cut out, I'm going to fold them in half. The way I've found is easiest to do that is to start at the bottom. This is cardstock, so it's a little difficult sometimes to fold. So we're going to start at the bottom and line the bottom up. And then once the bottom's lined up, I can just start folding it and just running my finger from the bottom to the top, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect, but we want to just get to where it looks about like this, okay? If you have any pencil marks, you can take a pencil and go in and erase that, or you could just fold it the opposite way. It's totally up to you how you want to do that. All right, so we've started. We've got our 5 large petals. Now we're going to make some that are going to be a little bit smaller. So we're going to just continue to hand do this, y'all. I am not using a template for this. I'm totally just eyeballing this, drawing it out. Something else that you can do if it makes you feel more comfortable is you can trace your previous petal and then go in and like follow the line and cut it out to be a little bit smaller. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just draw like I did before, and I'm just making sure to sort of make my petal a little bit on the smaller side. I don't want it to be like super small in comparison, but I do want it to be smaller, all right? you want to make sure it's got that sort of tip at the top. And so again, the way that I feel is easiest to do it is to just draw one side. Okay. I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Be sure to put your petals to the side, because once you get to those smaller petals, you might be able to use your leftovers to do the petals, the smaller petals. So I'm just going to cut this out, just this one side. So I'd say this is about, it's about 2 inches smaller. So after I get that cut, I'm just going to go ahead and fold it right in half. Okay, so we want to make sure we get that tip in there. Okay. Just like that. All right. And so then we can just come back in, cut it out, just following the line of the other. And then if I don't like the way the top looks, which for this one I don't, now that I've got it folded, I can just sort of fix that tip. And it's okay if they do not look exactly alike, okay? This is going to go kind of like this. All right, see how that's looking? So let's see, it looks like I can get them both out of one sheet. So I'm just gonna go in and just start tracing them and cutting them out. With this, again, we want 5, okay? We're gonna have 5 of each size. So we'll cut, trace, and trace and cut all 5 of them. I will be back in a minute. Okay. So I went ahead, I've cut 3 sizes. We're probably gonna need more, but we're gonna go ahead and get started and just see how this is gonna start coming together and what we're gonna need to finish it, all right? So I have cut 3 sizes and you can see they're all about 2 inches smaller than the other, okay? I have folded them all in half. We're going to start with our largest ones. And I'm gonna grab a scrap piece of cardboard and I'm gonna just trace a circle on here, cut that out, and that's gonna be what we're gonna start with. That's gonna be kind of the surface or the base of our flower. So I'm just gonna use a ribbon spool to do this with. Let's see, I don't think that's gonna be big enough though. I think I definitely need to go bigger. I think I'm gonna use a plate. So I'm just gonna take a little salad plate and that's gonna be the base. So I'm gonna just trace this out. Then I'm just gonna use some scissors and I'm just gonna cut out a circle. Okay, and this is what we are going to adhere our petals to. This is just a thin piece of cardboard. So anything will work, just something that's a little bit thicker. You can even use another piece of cardstock. I just decided that I would use this, okay? Heck, you could even use one of these plates for all intents and purposes. Okay, so we have our 5 poinsettia petals. We're gonna just start kind of lining these up and just kind of seeing where we want them placed. So I'm just sort of putting them on, and basically we want to kind of make a little bit of a, what is that shape? I can't think of what that shape is called. Like a pentagon, is that it? I'm just gonna trace a little bit, just kind of rough tracing where my edges are for my, okay. So I've got just sort of like a rough base for where I'm gonna start my petals. The reason why I wanted to do this, okay, is because it just helps a little bit so that your petals, you don't have some that are closer than the others, okay? And we're gonna just do this with hot glue. So I'm just gonna take some hot glue. I'm gonna put hot glue just right onto the back of my petal, just one little line, and then I'm gonna glue them on. Just following that line that I just did. So all I'm doing is one line of hot glue. And you can see when you fold the petal, how it kind of makes it come up. That's what we want. The fold is really important. We need a little bit of stability. I'm sorry, not stability. A little bit of, if you just laid it on there, it's just gonna look like a flat. Just flat with some pieces of paper glued onto it, okay? So we need a little bit of something, and that gives it more texture and just makes it look better. Well adhered, and you can see the start of our poinsettia starting to come together. How cool is this? And this is going to only get cooler. So we're going to do our second size, okay? And we are going to do, this one is going to go right in the middle of our other size, okay? So we've got our two petals out like this. The next smallest size is going to go right in the middle. All right, so we kind of have a guideline now for where our petals need to go. I'm not putting this much further in on this one. I'm leaving it about the same width out as the other ones are. But I'm gluing them in between the others. So here is what it looks like so far, okay? Look at that. Doesn't that look awesome? Looks awesome. So our next size, let's take a look at it and see how it looks. Okay, for the next size, I'm going to keep on going, I think, with the next size. I'm going to bring the next size in just a little, but I'm going to still keep that point kind of going in the middle, okay? So we're kind of alternating positions with each size that we do. All right, so our poinsettia is really starting to take shape. We're gonna do, I think, 2 more sizes of petals, okay? So here is what it looks like right now. Look how awesome that is, okay? So we're gonna do 2 more sizes of petals. For our next sizes, we're gonna make it just a little bit shorter, okay? So we're gonna do 2 more sizes. I'm gonna go ahead and draw those out and cut them, and then I'll see you back here in a minute and we'll finish putting this together. All right, y'all, so I cut 2 more sets of petals, both of them descending in sizes. So I will show you, I have this size here and then this size here. All right, so you can see that I didn't go like 2 inches difference on this one. It's more like about 1 inch, okay? I don't want to get the petals so small you can't even see them. But with this, I did something a little bit different. Instead of folding these, I'm actually bending them. So I just take my petal and I'm just going to sort of fold it, kind of bend it like this and just sort of roll it so that we get sort of a bent shape like this, okay? So I've done that to all of my petals, and we're just gonna keep on going in the same way that we have been doing just, again, just doing right in the middle. I'm going to come forward a little bit with my petal. I'm going to make sure it's still got that bend going on to it. So what you might need to do is just sort of bend the bottom just a little bit, just like that, so that you've still got plenty of bend going on. So just right in the middle, bring it forward just a little bit. We want to get to where this cardboard is mostly covered. We are going to put a middle in, but we don't want that space to be too large. So you definitely want to make sure that as you go, somewhat, you are kind of bringing those petals in. We don't want them to just be sitting right on top of the previous layer. As I said, when we went to go do that second layer, we didn't bring it in too much. Okay. All right. So as you can see, we just keep going in our little pentagon. I hope I'm calling that right. I think it's a pentagon. Is getting smaller and smaller, okay? So we just have one more set. Now, you can do as many as you want. I wanted this to be large, and so I just felt as I'm working on it and as I'm doing it, I feel like this is the right amount of petals. So we are doing 5 sizes of petals, okay? So same thing for this size. We're gonna do just the exact same thing, okay? And this is gonna be our last set of petals. For these, I did not fold them in the middle. And you can also go back in and just sort of like, you know, kind of curl them a little bit more. Okay, and here we go. Look how cute this is. Y'all, this is super cute. Okay, so now you can see we've got just a small little space here in the middle. So now we need to do the middle portion of our poinsettia. And I am just gonna use some poof balls, okay? So those are just gonna kind of get mounted up just right in the middle. So I just need to choose the right amount, however many you want that will work to kind of cover that up. I'm going to just start by putting some hot glue just all around here, just kind of in a circle. And I'm just gonna start putting my little poof balls in a circle around the middle of the poinsettia. Okay, so I am doing 7 little poof balls, okay? And then I think what I want to do is just sort of pile them up on the top so that they're not so flat. So I'm gonna do 3 on the top, okay? So I'm just gonna take and put just a little bit of hot glue on the bottom of them. Almost like when you frost a cupcake, how you just sort of bring it around and you bring it up. That's kind of what we're doing here. Kind of covering up that center. And I'm gonna put a little bit of hot glue just kind of right in between all 3 of those. Just kind of hold the 2 together. Okay. How cute, y'all. How cute is that? Now you could do whatever you want to in the center. If you have some gold pom-poms with a little shimmery like tinsel in them, I think something like that would also be adorable for this. So I've got all these strings. I'm gonna get all these strings off and we are gonna put some leaves on here. So I'm just gonna use my lime green paper. So I'm using this color paper here. I'm gonna set this aside and we are just gonna create a few leaf shapes. For this one, I'm actually gonna make it go this way so I can make it just a little bit longer. And I'm just making I'm just again, I'm just freehanding this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just freehanding a leaf shape. I'm going to cut this out. Okay, so I'm gonna fold this over so that you don't see my pencil marks. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna fold this in half. All right, so then this is just gonna go on the back of our poinsettia. So I'm just gonna flip this over. Now you could do this first if you want to, but it's hard for me to kind of envision the size. So, but it's totally up to you how you want to do it. And I'm just going to put some hot glue just right on the back here and just glue it right to the back of my poinsettia. Okay, like this. And then what I can also do, if it's wanting to kind of come away, then I can just take a little bit of hot glue and just tack it right to the back of one of the petals so that it holds it into the flower, okay? Just like that. All right, so I think I'm gonna do another one. And then I think that I am done with this poinsettia project. So, and you can make the leaves different sizes. They don't all have to be exactly the same. Let's just be honest. Not every leaf is the same in real life anyways, right? All right, so let's just fold this in half. Okay. And then I'm gonna glue the other leaf just sort of with, I'm gonna glue the two kind of together, okay? So just trying to decide where I want it. And I'm just gonna put the hot glue onto the front of the leaf. I'm just gonna kind of glue it on there with the other one, okay? So again, I'm just gonna tack this so that it stays with the rest. Just using a little hot glue just to tack it in. Okay. And that is all there is to it. So you could add in another leaf if you wanted to over here, but how fun is this? It is so fun. So as far as how are you gonna hang this, what you can do a few different things. So what I'm gonna do is take a pipe cleaner. Okay, I'm just gonna take a pipe cleaner. I'm gonna lay the pipe cleaner just right in the middle of my poinsettia. I'm gonna do a little bit of hot glue. All right, just like that. And then I'm gonna take some scrap pieces of paper and put some hot glue on that piece of paper. You could also use fabric for this. And I'm just gonna glue that right on top of my poinsettia, or right on top of my pipe cleaner. And this is going to help to hold, allow us something to tie this to. So another thing that you can do before you start is you can put 2 holes in your cardboard and stick your pipe cleaner through that, or even a zip tie, whatever you want. stick it through that, and that way you've got kind of a more sturdy base. But I think that this is gonna work for me. So how fun is that, y'all? This is huge. It is huge. You can go back in, you know, and bend your petals, make sure that they are nice and folded, so you've got a lot of texture and volume going on. We can go back and kind of, you know, do this to our smaller ones and just make sure everything looks the way you want it to. But it's a super fun project, and as you can see, once you get kind of your thing going, you can make these as small or as big as you want to. So as you can see from our petals, we could start with this size. We could start with this size, whatever we want to do, but we need to just keep coming in closer and closer. Don't start as far out as we did with this one if you want to make it smaller. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this project. Super fun. This is just a fun thing to do, to decorate with around Christmas time in such an inexpensive way. So I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.